Hello YouTube, Ram55 here, and I'm finally ready to go with my Race07 series. Took a long time to get things sorted out, a lot more difficult and time consuming than I anticipated to get the AI tweaked, to figure out what tracks work, and a lot of them didn't for various reasons. But we're finally ready to go, and I've got it narrowed down to 14 tracks, and this is the schedule I'll be presenting. All these tracks give me a reasonable amount of competition. The AI does not crash excessively, so it should be a pretty good series. And for those who might be interested, here's the AI lineup. You may recognize the cars as I present the videos. And also at the end of the video, I will be presenting a slide with the race results and the season standings, so you'll be able to see which drivers are which as we play the video. And I'll be driving the 37 car. So here we are for the first race. It's in the island nation of Bahrain in the Persian Gulf, on the F1 Sakhir track. It's located to the east of Saudi Arabia in the Gulf there, up by Qatar. Same track that the F1 cars drive on. Circuit's 3.36 miles. I'll be doing 30-mile races throughout the season, and here are some images of the track. So the AI strength is set at 97%. That may be tweaked as we go along, but let's cinch up the belts and let's go racing. So here's my qualifying lap, and the only thing I did differently on the car was I took one or two clicks of wing out on the rear and put on soft slicks. Nothing else was changed on the car. So a little bit more speed down the straightaways, and a little bit more grip from the tires. This section is turn 9 and 10, kind of a slow entry, but a little bit deceptive because it's off camber, tightening radius into turn 10 there, and if you give it too much power, you won't be able to get down to the apex and you go slipping off the end. Opening radius turn here through turn 11. And then a big sweeping turn in turn 12, feathering the throttle to keep it under control. This is turn 13, a little deceptive because it gets tighter. You need to brake early so that you can get on the throttle early to get down this long straightaway. Heavy braking, but it's a fast turn here in turn 14 and 15, so really not a good overtaking spot. Anyways, coming up on the end of my lap here, 2 minutes 6 seconds, .963, put me in 8th position. Hello YouTube, Ram55 here, and I'm back with my first race in the series. It's going to be the Porsche SuperCup. We're going to be racing at the Sakhir circuit in Bahrain. I've already showed you my qualifying lap, and I managed to qualify 8th, so pretty good. The AI is set at 98%, and that may be adjusted throughout the season. I have to apologize up front. I'm not sure why, but occasionally, as you can see here, the rearview mirrors are not acting quite right. I've got a virtual mirror up in the top left as opposed to the real mirrors. And when I play this on the replay on the computer that I race on, the replay shows the correct mirrors, and I know I've done this before, and I don't remember how to do that exactly. So something I'll have to work on. But in the meantime, we'll have a virtual mirror. So here we are on the grid. Again, we qualified 8th, but let's cinch up those belts, start our engines, and let's get this race going. It took me a long time to figure out to rev the engines and then just slam it in gear, and I lose less time off the starting line. So much better start than I'm used to. Right now my mindset is don't screw up. Try to avoid getting rammed by the AI behind, and don't run into the AI in front. So a relatively conservative start, but I don't want to lose a lot of positions either. Typically there's a lot of bumping, pushing, shoving going on in the first turn because of the nature of AI. Once you get through that turn, they kind of spread out a little bit and the race settles down. But reasonable start. Started in 8th position on the grid, and I'm in 8th place right now. One car got around me and I got around another car going into the first turn, so it all balanced out. Again, the tires are cold. Kind of taking it easy the first lap. Just kind of sorting my car out, making sure I know what the AI is doing around me. Not really pressing hard, kind of going extremely slow and conservative through the turns on the first lap. Again, the tires are cold. I don't want to go spinning off and blow my race early. And when I race, I want to race just like I'm driving a real car. I'm not going to be doing a Dale Earnhardt and putting the bumper to the guy in front and passing him, making dive bomb moves. I want to make it fairly realistic. This is a nice turn, 3rd gear, sweeping, not quite a 90-degree turn, so you can get some good speed through there, up through the gears into 5th gear, into this right-hander here, which is a big sweeping right-hander, seems to go on forever. I just keep it in 5th gear and feather the throttle. And this one, it's a little bit deceptive. You got to really get on the brakes early, get the car woed down into 3rd gear so that you can accelerate quickly down this long straight. I think this might be a good passing zone up here, but for me it isn't, just because it's a pretty quick turn. It's really hard to outbrake somebody and keep it on the track. Nine laps here in Bahrain, 30 miles. And they adjust that to 35 miles, but we'll see. 8th place after the end of the first lap, and I outbrake this AI guy into the first turn. In fact, I outbrake myself. In spite of my huge mistake, AI does not take advantage of it. Usually they do. Up into 7th place. A little bit of a gap behind the train of cars in front. This turn here is greater than 90 degrees, so you really got to get it woed down early so you can get on the accelerator. There's a little kink right in the middle of this little straight. As soon as you hit that apex there, down into 3rd, so you can roll it through the turn here, up into 4th, feathering the throttle, and then quickly down into 2nd, because this turn's pretty tight. It's greater than 90 degrees. It's very easy to go in too deep, go skipping off the end of the track there. This turn is rather blind until you get over that crest. And then it's a little bit of a fall away, and you can see I got in too deep, way too deep. Jump back on the track, and because the two cars were tussling in front, I did get a good run on the green car there. Now again, this race has already been run. And because I don't have a recording capability on the computer that I run it on, I can't talk to you while I'm racing. So this is all post-production comments. When I race, the tags are above the cars, so I know who's driving the cars in front of me. I'm sorry I can't do that for you now. I will post some pictures of the different cars, so if you want, you can kind of figure out who's who. Coming up to finish lap 2 in 6th position, so up 2 spots. Again, the AI is set at 97%. I think I said 98% before. It's 97%. That may be adjusted throughout the season to give me reasonable competition. Really slow turn, greater than 90 degrees. You got to get it slowed down really, really early. Once you get through that little kink, you get on the gas and give it power all the way up into this turn complex here. Again, a greater than 180 degree turn. No, greater than 90 degree turn. Almost 180 degree. Tires are all warmed up now. Car's operating pretty well. I know what the AI's doing. I know what my car's doing. Again, being fairly conservative. I don't want to throw it all away. And I'm going to try to race as cleanly as possible. I don't want to be dive bombing and barging my way to the front. I want to drive it just as if it was a real car. So a double apex hairpin right there. We took advantage of a AI that was sleeping a little bit. We're up to 5th place. We're on the 3rd lap out of 9. Now when I race, I have a 3-monitor setup. Some of my previous videos have shown that. So I get a little bit more awareness of the track around me and the cars that are around me, because I can see the mirror to the right and cars along my side on both sides. A little love tap on that guy in front. No foul, no harm. Again, real tempting to get into the draft here and try to outbrake him going into this turn, but it is a high-speed turn and kind of a risky maneuver. You got to get on the brakes here, let it flow. If you get on the inside there with too much speed, you're never going to make the turn. Back down the main straightaway to complete lap 3. Up into 5th position. A little bit too far behind to try to outbrake the guy into this turn. Again, you got to get on the brakes early here to make this turn. Once you get it here, going up to the gears, clip that apex, and it's just flat out all the way up to the next turn coming up here. Again, greater than 90 degrees, you really got to get the car wound down. This one you get up into 5th gear, and as soon as you click the apex right here, down into 3rd, and then just kind of let it drift through, let the car catch itself and bite, make the turn, and then up into 4th, feather the throttle, down into 2nd gear for this tight turn. This one's real easy to screw up as well. Now this turn coming up, as I said, it's a little bit off camber. It's a little bit of a blind turn. It goes downhill right here, and you don't see the apex. If you get on the brakes too quick here, because you're turning, you can really easily spin the car. So down into 2nd gear, get it slowed down so you can get on the accelerator for this long straightaway here. If you carry too much speed through that turn, you got to really wait for the car to bite and make the turn before you can get on the accelerator, and you lose time. Fifth position, cars are spread out a little bit ahead of us, and they will close and extend on each other, as I will as well. As I make mistakes, they make mistakes. A lot of times when I'm playing this game, you look for the rubber marks going into the turn, like right here, and that'll indicate where I should start braking. However, the straights are so long here and so fast, and the brakes aren't that good on the Porsche, at least the way I've got it set up now, that if you wait till you get to that dark spot, you're going to go shooting off the end of the track because you won't be able to get it slowed down to make the turn. So right there's the dark spot, but you got to be off the gas and braking before you get there, or you're just going to sail right off. Up into 4th. This car in front of us is driven by Johnson. He is probably one of the better drivers in this series. Again, being relatively conservative. You don't want to be driving like you're qualifying. You're going to be more likely to put the car in the gravel, spin, do something stupid. So relatively conservative. You can see him drifting up in front, a little bit of oversteer. Now, I probably told you before in some of the other videos that I have tweaked the AI. I've adjusted their settings for speed and reliability, consistency, their race and qualifying settings. And I've adjusted them so that the field gets spread out like it would in a real race. You don't want all the cars nose to tail for the entire race. It's quite unrealistic for the races to be that close. There's going to be good drivers and bad drivers, and I want the AI to be the same way. I want the better drivers to be consistently toward the front of the field, and the bad drivers to be consistently toward the back. And if they happen to have a good or a bad race and mix it up a little bit, that's perfectly fine. You can see I'm being pressured from behind by that yellow and gray car. So I'm not really driving defensively, but keeping an eye on him. A little love tap there. Again, no foul, no harm. Coming up to complete the 4th lap out of 9. A little bit too far back to make a move on this guy going into the first turn. So you can see the 150 marker going by there, and I'm already on the brakes. If you don't do that, you don't get it slowed down in time. So pretty early braking on those long straights. So there, I'm in 4th. So there's 3 cars ahead of me, and you can see 3 cars behind me in the rearview mirror. So there's a big gap between the first 7 cars and the rest of the field. A little bit too aggressive, too late braking, dented his fender there, but again, no harm, no foul. On the brakes early here, get woed down, nice and turned in. If you carry too much speed there, you can't get it down to the apex. You also then delay getting on the accelerator and you lose speed going down this straightaway. It's important you kind of let it drift through that turn, get it slowed down. Even though you can squirt the throttle a little bit to get through that turn quicker, it screws you up for the apex and screws you up for the preparation for getting on the throttle down that straightaway. And feathering the throttle here in 5th gear, keeping it down toward the inside of the turn, let it drift out. And again, getting on the brakes early, down into 3rd gear, letting it roll through that turn. Lost a little bit of distance there though. And you can see we're all kind of bunching up to the leader. Getting a little bit closer up front. Now I've got a good run. I'm in the draft of Johnson's car. Pull out to the side. On the brakes early. He's on the brakes a little bit later than me, and he outbrakes me and takes the position back. Pretty good racing up front here. Hope you're enjoying it. If you like these videos, this is Race07. It's an older game, but it still races really well. The force feedback is fantastic. The sounds are excellent. If you tweak the AI right, the racing is excellent as well. But if you like it, hit the like button. Give me some comments. Tell me things that you see that I could do better ways of making videos. I enjoy making them. I haven't been real regular about producing them, but now that I've got this up and running, I figured out the tracks to use and whatnot. Hopefully they'll be coming to you a little bit more regularly. Part of the problem of doing these racing series, unlike the F1 games and some of the others, is the AI doesn't operate the same on all tracks. So if I set the AI at 97% or 98%, whatever it turns out to be, there will be some tracks where the AI is inherently slow and some tracks where the AI is inherently fast, and I just can't compete. So it took me a long time to go through all the tracks from the basic game and also some of the tracks that I've downloaded to figure out where the AI is going to give reasonable competition without being too fast or too slow. And that took a lot of doing, a lot longer than I thought it would. A lot of tracks that I would love to be running on, but it's just not feasible because either I'm just going to win all the races easily, like Watkins Glen in New York. I love that track, but the AI is just too slow. Other tracks I'd like to bring to you, like Anderstorp in Sweden, Road America, where there's problems with the AI. Another big problem is the AI tends to crash on certain tracks, particularly in switchbacks where you do a right and a left combination, consistently crashing, and that doesn't make it any fun either when half the field is wiping themselves out. So I had to go through and do some testing and some practice races just to see which tracks the AI stayed on and gave me a pretty good fight. I've narrowed it down to 14, so this race series, the Porsche SuperCup series, will be 14 races long. This is the first race in Bahrain. The next one will be in Valencia, Spain, and Estoril in Portugal, Barcelona, Spain, Hockenheim in Germany, and that's the F1 track, not the old one. Spa in Belgium, great track. Brands Hatch in England, that was one I was really hoping to do, but the AI seemed to be pretty fast. But after tweaking the car a little bit, I've got to the point where I can be fairly competitive. And we'll do Brno in Czechoslovakia, Suzuka in Japan, Shanghai course in China, Marina Bay course in Singapore, Curitiba in Brazil, Interlagos, which I believe is also called the circuit Carlos Pache, F1 driver from when I really loved F1 in the 70s. And we'll finish up the season in Laguna Seca in the United States, which is, I think, called something else, Mazda Raceway or whatever. They keep changing the names on these courses. But anyways, that's going to be the 14 race series. We've completed 8 out of 9 laps, coming up to the white flag. Moved up to third with a dive it on the inside on the double apex hairpin. The 2 cars in front of me seem to be duking it out for the win. They're fairly far up ahead, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to catch them before the end of this race. But I'm pretty satisfied with my performance so far. Started in 8th, we're currently in 3rd. Haven't made any major mistakes. A couple goofs on braking points going off the end of the track, but nothing major. Haven't caused any damage to my car. Haven't taken any of the other drivers out. So we got the white flag, last lap. I think we're too far behind, so it's a matter of protecting my position so we don't lose any spots. And if the cars up ahead start to duke it out with themselves, they may take themselves out, and I'll try to take advantage of that. The point system I'm using here is the point system used in the real Porsche SuperCup series. It's 20 points for first, and then down by 2 points all the way to 6th place. So it goes 20, 18, 16, 14, 12, 10, and then starting at 9 it goes 1 point down. So 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, all the way down to 15th place. So here we are in the double apex, and Johnson makes a move for the lead and takes the lead. I believe that's the first time that the driver now in second place has not had the lead in this race. And that is Rick Belk in car number 31. And Johnson in car number 1 made the pass, and it seems like he's pulling out a little bit of the gap with just a couple more corners to go. It's getting a little bit wide there, a little bit loose. Will I be able to outdrag him down this main straightaway? We'll find out. Coming up on the finish line, I'm slowly approaching him, but I don't think I'm going to get him. And that's the finish right there. So end of race number 1. Run at the Sakhir track in Bahrain. 9 laps, 30 miles of the Porsche SuperCup. Started in 8th position, finished in 3rd, so I would consider that a very successful start to the Porsche SuperCup series. Hope you enjoyed that. Again, if you did, leave some comments. Tell me what you liked, what I could do better. Give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe.